the actions from the classics, part 2. According to the spiritual axis from chapter 44, the yin organs corresponds to the two winter usual points. The color corresponds to spring, use spring points. Seasons corresponds to summer, use the stream points. Sound corresponds to late summer, use the river points. Flavor corresponds to autumn, use the sea points. When the yin organs are affected, use the well points. When the disease affects a change in the complexion color, use the spring points. When the disease manifests intermittently, use the stream points. When the disease affects the voice and there is stagnation of qi and blood in the channel, use the river points. When the stomach is affected and there are digestive disorders, use the sea points. Now we have here the 5 transporting points according to the classic of difficulties. The summary. First, the well points is for the fullness under the heart, for irritability, mental restlessness, insomnia. The spring points for hot sensations of the body to clear heat. The stream points, feeling of heaviness and joint pain, that is for painful obstruction syndrome from dampness. Number 4, for river points, that is for breathlessness, cough, hot and cold sensations, asthma. Number 5, the sea points, for rebellious qi and diarrhea, for digestive disorders. These rules are fairly straightforward and have some points in common with those from chapter 68 of the Classic of Difficulties. The spiritual axis recommends the use of the well points in yin organ diseases. This is similar to the Classic of Difficulties recommendation of these points in mental restlessness and irritability, particularly if deriving from the heart pattern. The spiritual axis use of the river points for problems of the voice coincides with the Classic of Difficulties used for problems of the throat. The use of the sea points is also practically the same in the two classics. However, the spiritual axis recommendations are much less followed in clinical practice than those from the Classic of Difficulties, as they are of lesser practical significance. The particular use of the 5 transporting points recommended in chapter 44 of the spiritual axis does not have an important clinical relevance. For example, the use of the well points for problems of the yin organ is not generally followed, and in fact, it contradicts chapter 6 of the same book, which recommends the use of spring and stream points for problems of the yin organ. The suggested use of the spring points when there is a change in the complexion color and the stream points when the disease is intermittent are also not of great clinical relevance. The use of the river points when the voice is affected is confirmed by their indications. Ally 5, raving, laughter. Stomach 41, raving. PC5, loss of voice, halting speech. Spleen 5, impaired speech, laughter, sighing. Heart 4, loss of voice. Kidney 7, curled tongue with inability to speak. Tribal burner 6, sudden loss of voice. Liver 4, for sighing. The use of the sea points for digestive disorder is common, and there are many examples of such points. Lung 5, for vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal distension. Li 11, for abdominal distension and pain. Stomach 36, all digestive disorders. Spleen 9, for diarrhea. Heart 3, for vomiting with foaming saliva. Bladder 40, vomiting and diarrhea. Kidney 7, diarrhea, abdominal distension, borborygmy. PC3, for diarrhea, vomiting due to summer heat. Triple burner 10, vomiting with pus and blood. Gallbladder 34, for vomiting. Liver 8, for diarrhea. On chapter 44 of the spiritual axis, we have a summary. First, the well points is for yin organs. Number 2, spring points when there is a change in complexion color. Number 3, we use stream points for intermittent symptoms. And number 4, we use river points when the voice is affected. And number 5, we use C points for stomach diseases. Thank you for your attention.